Nearly 2 decades in the sports broadcast game, and what a ride it's been. Interviews with the 42nd President Bill Clinton, to Lakers legends Kobe Bryant, and the NBA's all-time leading scorer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to name a few. I've been blessed to cover and tell some amazing stories, but there were so many more I didn't get to tell. Thanks for tuning in to Untold Truths with Telly. My guest is the 2019 WNBA Rookie of the Year. She's an NCAA champion and one of the all-time greats out of UConn, Napheesa Collier. Napheesa, I got to ask you, I know I've been told that you're not a very talkative person, especially when it comes to your career, but when you hear your name mentioned amongst the greats to ever come out of UConn, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really good. UConn's history is so, everyone knows about their history. Everyone knows the players that's come out of there. So to have my name, affiliated with theirs, it feels like such an honor, and I'm proud of myself and what I was able to accomplish there.
Well, since you've been playing basketball, all you've done is win, win, win. Way before DJ Khaled came out, you led your high school to 3 state championships. You were the 3-time Missouri Player of the Year. And when you look back, at what age did you realize that you were better than most whenever you stepped out on the court?
I would probably say maybe around 8th grade, because that's when I got my first college offer. So it was probably at that time that I'm like, okay, I could do this long term maybe.
And I mean, when you received that type of attention at such an early age, did you even understand that you're getting a college offer in the 8th grade?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was from Mizzou, and I had gone on a visit with my parents, and me and my mom were like, okay, let's commit right now. This is awesome. And my dad is kind of the one that slowed us down, and it's like, you're in 8th grade, you need to be able to visit other schools and things like that. So he was kind of the voice of reason for us there.
Now, after a highly decorated prep career, it was time to pick a college. Was UConn always the first and only choice, or were you close to playing your college ball somewhere else?
Yeah, so I originally didn't want to play at UConn because they are so good. I wanted to play again with a school that would compete against them and beat them because been the best for so long, so I wanted to, win against them. But once I went on my visit there, I got to meet with the coaches and the players and just hear how they run their program. At that point, I knew I wanted to play professionally, so I knew that going there would get me the most prepared to play where I am now.
Gotcha. Now, freshman year was probably the first time you averaged less than 10 points per game, probably in your life. What was the biggest adjustment once you got to Storrs, Connecticut?
Oof, the biggest? I don't know. Everything was an adjustment. It's freshman year it's like a shock to your system because you're in a new state with a new team. All the plays are different. Literally every aspect of your life is different. You're not living with your parents anymore. But the style of play that they use is, in high school or in AAU, if we were going to do a back cut, that was a specific play. Everything was so structured like that. And then at UConn, it's just like an outline of what he wants you to do, but mostly it's reads. So if you see an opening to do a back cut, you can do it. If you want to do this, it makes sense, you can do it. So that was really hard to kind of switch those wires in my brain to be able to think that way.
And were there any thoughts after struggling your freshman year of going back or transferring or any of those thoughts, or you knew you wanted to stick there because you'll end up exactly where you are now?
I knew I wanted to stay for sure. It was really, really hard. But again, I knew that if I could, be good here, if I can just get through this, then when I get to the pros, it's going to be easy. There's a reason why there's so many UConn players that play professionally and why they are so successful in the league is because they went through Coach Geno's program. Coach and CD are the best coaches in the country. So, yeah, I knew I wanted to stay.
And that leads me to my next question. Everyone wants to know, how is it to play for head coach Geno Auriemma?
He is so smart. I mean, there's a reason that he has had so many championships. And the person behind him is CD. She is the one that keeps us buckled in day to day. I mean, seriously, they co-head coach, really. So a lot of the credit needs to go to CD. But yeah, just the way the coach sees the game, he's just so smart in, seeing what we need to do, how to get the best out of people. He really knows how to just like touch that right nerve, just like make you mad or get the best out of you or whatever it is. So he's great at reading those kind of things.
So it seems like he is the type of person that knows how to get the best out of each and every one of his players. And does he have a specific way to push each individual's buttons, or does he know how to do that collectively for a group of women that usually are the best prep players in the country?
I would say both. He knows how to get the team going, but he also knows how each individual person ticks, which is what makes him a great coach. He knows, like I said, how to get the best out of each person. Maybe you need to yell at this person, but this person can't take it. Maybe you need to challenge this person, but you need to encourage another. He really knows how to read that in people, and that's just I think that's what makes him such an amazing coach.
You reached the Final Four in all 4 of your seasons at UConn. You were twice named the AAC Player of the Year, and you ended your career 3rd on the all-time scoring list at UConn. Was your experience as a Husky exactly the way that you thought it was going to be?
I honestly thought that I would get Player of the Year, and that I was at UConn. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, even though I thought it should have happened my senior year, but we won't go there. But other than that, definitely. And especially like the friendships that I made. I mean, 2 of the people who are on my team are in my wedding. All of them are invited to it. So, like the friendships that I made there and just the connections is far and above what I even got from basketball side of it.
And and speaking of that, your senior year, Coach Geno schedules a game against St. Louis U. And it's an opportunity for you to come and play in front of family and friends. But it also coincided with you getting your high school jersey retired, and your entire UConn team was there to help honor you. How special of a night was that for you? And is that ranked one of the best moments of your life so far?
It was really special. I had such a great time at Incarnate, and I was really fortunate to come from such a successful program with Coach Rolfus. It was like having a college coach. So I was prepared really well for when I actually went to college. And just the winning culture that he had there really installed that in me. And like I said, it was another thing that prepared me for when I went to college. So there's also so many great players that came out of Incarnate. So I felt, really honored that I was mentioned with them, and to have everyone at that ceremony, and just to play at St. Louis, to see all the people who supported me in the community along with my friends and family. It was amazing.
So if you thought you were supposed to get Player of the Year your senior year, when you got drafted 6th overall, I'm sure you felt like that was a slap in the face as well. Did you take that personal, that you were drafted 6th and not higher?
Mm-hmm. So I think my draft year was kind of unique because it really depended on what teams needed that specific year. I obviously think that I was the best player in the draft, but I also understood that teams needed different players at different spots. So while I do think I should have gone higher, I'm so glad that I did go to Minnesota, because it's the best team in the league, facility-wise and like all those kind of things. And they also have the most winning culture. So I was really happy that I got to kind of continue that on from high school to college to now professionally, and being in such an elite program.
Not only did you make the All-Star team your rookie season, you became the Rookie of the Year, of course. Were those 2 goals that you set once you did get drafted 6th overall?
Rookie of the Year definitely was. It was kind of like freshman year all over again. You don't really have a lot of things that you can control, but that was like the one goal that I set my sights on, like something I need to work towards. So that was definitely in my sights from the beginning. All-Star kind of came later, like once we got closer and I saw that my name could be up there. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll make the All-Star. Like Rookie of the Year was.
Nice. Now, Napheesa, where does that work ethic come from? And do you feel like whatever goal you set, you can accomplish it?
I think the work ethic comes from my parents. Really instilled that in my brother and I growing up. We always played sports, and my parents were 2 of my first coaches in the sports that I played. So you're really not getting away with anything when your parents is the coach. So just really taught us how to work hard and not make any excuses or give less than 100% every time. So I was actually fortunate to learn that at an early age because, you know, you don't have to reteach yourself that once you get to college or high school. And I forgot the second part of your question.
Oh, and the second part is, do you feel like whatever goal you set, you can accomplish it no matter what it is?
Yeah, I do feel like that, which is why I was really disappointed about the National Player of the Year in college, because it was a goal that I set for myself. And, you know, I do feel that if I set those kind of things that, you know, if I work hard enough, I can achieve them.
You were one of the few female hoopers that actually had a relationship with the great Kobe Bryant. What was some of the dynamics of you all's working friendship, and what did you learn most from the Laker legend?
So I actually got to met him first because, you know, Gigi was a huge fan of UConn, so they would come to games and stuff. And then I was around him more later because Alex coached the girls team or trained the girls team. So, I mean, every single time I talk to him, he just makes you feel so special. Like when he's talking to you, it's amazing. And the way that he sees the game, it's like nothing that I've ever experienced before. He's so smart in analyzing each aspect of it. It was just like, it was literally talking to greatness. And you felt that every single conversation that you had. So, I mean, I've never met anyone like him. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Now, you have won on every level. You're a high school champion, an NCAA champion. I'm sure the next goal is to be a WNBA champion someday, hopefully soon. But what else is on the horizon for Napheesa? You've accomplished so much at such a young age.
There's always more things that you can improve on. There's almost every aspect of my game I want to improve in some way, some more drastically than others. But definitely a WNBA championship is, you know, that's always the goal, is to win that for your team. On an individual level, I obviously want to get to more All-Stars and then win an MVP.
Awesome. And finally, you serve as an inspiration, I'm sure, for a lot of young females, especially ones that want to play basketball. If there's one piece of advice that you like to pass along every time, what is that piece of advice?
I would definitely just say that, you know, everyone wants to get to the same spot. Everyone wants to play in college and professionally, but there's a reason why it's such a small percentage of people that actually do. You have to work really hard to get there. You're going to have to sacrifice things. You know, I missed sleepovers with my friends or parties and things like that because there was something that I wanted to do, and I knew that early on. So, I mean, it takes a lot of sacrifice, but it's 100% worth it if that's what you want.
Awesome. And with that, Napheesa, we'll leave it right there. Thank you so much for joining Untold Truths with Telly. Napheesa Collier, best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.